Today in Madden 26, we're going to be rebuilding the new look Indianapolis Colts. This Colts team was on fire last year until they slowed down and missed the playoffs entirely. So we're going to try to get them to bounce back, and we'll see if we can build a contender with what this Colts team has. But before we get into today's video, YouTube does tell me about 83% of the people that watch these videos aren't actually subscribed. So if you do follow that, want to change that, that'd be greatly appreciated. So the Indianapolis Colts obviously have quite a few guys to be excited about. Quentin Nelson, Tyler Warren. You're going to get Alec Pierce after the season he had as your #1 wide receiver now. Josh Downs could potentially have a bigger role this year. Obviously, they decided to trade away 2 firsts at the trade deadline for Sauce Gardner with how good they were playing. Unfortunately, they fell off the face of the earth and, they missed the playoffs entirely. But Sauce Gardner, of course, is here to show for it. They have Cameron Bynum. They have Ward, but I know he's had some concussion issues, so we'll see on him. Arden Key, Stewart Buckner, Latu. But yeah, this team is not bad. It's a good looking team on paper. The one thing this team has always struggled with is the quarterback position. Obviously, we all know why that is. Andrew Luck retired on them in like one of the worst ways possible. I think it was during a preseason game or something where they thought they were going to have him for that year, and then he retired. I think Jacoby Brissett had to start the rest of the season or whatever. But since then, they've tried like Phillip Rivers. They've tried Carson Wentz. Like Rivers, I think, led them to 10-7, I think I remember correctly, and I think they missed the playoffs, if I remember also. Anyway, but yeah, they haven't had that franchise quarterback in summarization. Daniel Jones was on fire last year. We'll see if he does it again off the injury. Obviously, we'll have to see on that. Anthony Richardson, they drafted him super high. Unfortunately, he has not panned out the way they would have wanted. So yeah, this is going to be an interesting video to try to build this Colts team without our first round pick. So let's go ahead and get into year one. We're going to see how this Colts team does. Hopefully Danny Dimes can lead us to, or I guess they call him Indiana Jones now. Let's see if he can lead us to the playoffs in year one. There's some talent here, so hopefully there is a chance that could be the case. But yeah, let's wait to the end. Shane Steichen, and of course, I think it's Bullard is their GM. Probably on the hot seat. The expectations are really high. I'm actually surprised they weren't fired this year. But yeah, we'll see what happens at the end of year one. Well, I think it's safe to say that year number one did not go as planned. We finished up at 5-12. We were horrendous, which really sucks. And the worst part about this is, like I said, we are not even going to have our first round pick to try to fix this problem. We could go draft Arch Manning right now and you have your franchise QB. But no, instead, we have Sauce Gardner. So very unfortunate stuff. 22-13 from Daniel Jones, 7 touchdowns, 100 yards from Jonathan Taylor, 800 yards from Josh Downs, and then Alec Pierce, after getting a bag, only puts up 600 yards this year. So Tyler Warren, of course, is awesome, 600 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then defensively 11 half sacks from Buckner. So yeah, this team has so much pressure to succeed. At least CJ Allen had a decent season, I guess. I mean, 26 tackles, 3 picks, so I don't know. 3 interceptions is nice. But yeah, I feel like this franchise has so much pressure to succeed with not having their first round pick because they made that big trade. And I really didn't like it when they did it either. Like, I know Sauce Gardner is a good corner and all, but you didn't have your quarterback position solidified. I know you thought Daniel Jones was your guy going forward, but we've seen that movie before where he was really good for the Giants and then just kind of fell off the face of the earth. So that could be a similar situation here. We'll have to see. But Josh Allen is going to win an MVP final, or I guess win a Super Bowl, I should say, and he also gets Super Bowl MVP. Joe Burrow, and then you got Sean Payton, Coach of the Year, Rashee Rice, Josh Allen, Bernard, and Traden Stukes as all your award winners. But this should be an interesting re-signing period, so let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. So for free agency, Jonathan Taylor's a free agent. That's important. Quinn Nelson is as well. Josh Downs, Britt Buckner. Man, there's actually some pretty important ones here. Anthony Richardson, Ashton Dulin. And then for the life of me right now, I can't remember what kind of contract Daniel Jones signed with the Colts. I literally cannot remember. I feel like it was something silly. Maybe it was just a 2-year deal, I guess, maybe, because I think, yeah, maybe it was. Okay, so he's on the books. We could cut him right now and save $33.5 million. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm tempted to do so because at the end of the day, I think I want to find a new quarterback. So I'm just gonna go ahead and save that money right now. 5-12. Clearly, Daniel Jones is not the answer, and we have a lot of guys re-signed anyway. So let's start with our franchise running back, Jonathan Taylor. He says not interested. We cannot let this man walk out the door, so I will absolutely franchise tag him. That's a no-brainer. Quinn Nelson, franchise left guard. Don't want to see him walk out the window either, or door rather. But yeah, Quinn Nelson, will bring him back as well. Josh Downs, I like him at 26 years old. Also have him on my dynasty team, so I'm definitely, hoping for a good season from him this year with Michael Pittman out the door. But he says no to our first offer. Britt Buckner at 33 years old. I mean, they're both our D tackles are 33. It does feel like we're going to be going in a little bit of a, you know, retool here, I would say, rather rebuild. So I think I might let both of them go, unfortunately, which I hate to do, but I don't know if we're going to be able to find a quarterback right away because we clearly don't have our first round pick in this draft. If we did, it'd be pretty easy to fix this situation, but we don't have our first. So yeah, unfortunately, it sucks to do, but I think I am going to go in and let both those D tackles walk, and I hate to do that, but both of them being 33, I think they'd be benefiting somewhere else. So if we left with this, obviously we need to go resign Josh Downs if we can still, but left side of the offensive line is looking good. Center's looking fine. Just need a right tackle. Warren, of course, I love at tight end, but yeah, we need another wide receiver outside Alec Pierce. I don't want to start Riley Leonard next year, but we'll have to see. And then Allen, you got Carly's as well. Latu's up to superstar dev. Don't believe that's the way it was. Our secondary looks pretty good other than maybe needing a third corner. And then we definitely need some D tackles, obviously, with letting guys walk. So let's go ahead and focus on some of the things we need to grab, and we'll see what we can see in free agency. So we've made 5 offers in free agency. Unfortunately, one of them is not on Josh Downs. He appears, actually one of them is still on Josh Downs. So he appears to be leaving us for Washington, which sucks, but it is what it is. So we're going to shift to Tank Dell probably from the Texans, but here's what we got going on. So we're after Brian O'Neill to be that new right tackle with Braden Smith walking, of course, last year. Josh Downs, it looks as if he's going to leave us. Jervin Dexter, would love to get him to kind of replace that, you know, loss we had in both those D tackles. Dax Hill's our third corner. So we'll see what we can get here. Hopefully we get, okay, so we do get O'Neal, Dax Hill, and Tank Dell. So I kind of figured we could get those 3 for sure, but we do not get Jervin Dexter or, you know, Josh Downs, of course, left. We knew that was going to be potentially happening. So as far as D tackle is concerned, maybe I should re-sign like one of them to a 1-year deal or something. And Oliver's here as well, but I guess with this, I am going to go ahead and give Grover Stewart a 1-year deal at this point because, you know, clearly we just need something there. So we'll do that. And then there was like Patrick Queen, who I was interested in, but he already signs, which is fine. So yeah, that's probably going to be it. So I'll probably just re-sign Grover Stewart to a 1-year deal if he is to choose us, and he does, and that is our free agency period. So of course we're just going to hope that we can draft a QB in the draft. We only have a 2nd round pick, it's an early 2nd round pick, but that will be probably used to take a quarterback because we're going to need one. I preferably do not want to start Ryan Leonard next year, but I think our O-line looks a bit stronger with O'Neal added. Definitely need to draft a wide receiver somewhere in the draft as well because we do need a 3rd one. Tank Dell and Alec Pierce is fine, but it's nothing to be like excited about. But I like our secondary line. I think linebacker core is fine enough. We can get by with it. But yeah, and then D tackle maybe somewhere in the draft if we can. But yeah, let's head to the draft. QB is obviously a priority. I really wish we did have our draft pick right now. It would be so helpful. We could walk away with Dante Moore or Arch Manning, but unfortunately we don't. So we'll go see what we can get at pick 34. So I guess with the 34th overall pick, the pick is going to be Lenore Sellers. So yeah, we gave the Jets the 2nd overall pick. We'd be in prime position to draft Arch Manning or Dante Moore. I know I keep saying that, but man, it feels like such a colossal mistake. But I like what I'm seeing. He's got elite ratings across the board. This might be a reach, but we all know quarterbacks gets reached for all the time. So 162 in true value, got him at 34. Our goal is to develop Lenore Sellers at the end of the day. So yeah, we need a QB to be excited about. Sellers going to be, you know, exactly what we need going forward. Hopefully, but we'll see. So we got a free safety prospect on the board as well. I did say we need to draft a wide receiver somewhere. So I am tempted to take like Eugene Wilson III at LSU here. Although I don't actually like what I'm seeing. He's got C to F catching, F release, lacks discipline. Maybe there's a better wide receiver to take, but that definitely... Oh, Singleton. I actually see Singleton on the board, so I might take him instead. Eric Singleton, we'll go with him. I've seen him play pretty well before for another team. So 64 in true value, I'm at 66. Or a normal dev, but 95 speed. I'm pretty happy with it. And obviously, at round 4, if there's a D tackle prospect, we'll take, but, you know, there may not be. Or we could take another quarterback and just kind of have like a QB competition in camp. Take John Mateer, who I've seen be really good as well. For franchises, but I mean, we'll probably just settle with Lenore Sellers at this point. So I think I'm going to take some linebacker depth here with Arian Carter. We'll go with him. Great speed, jumping elite. So that will be our draft. So unfortunately, not a great draft by any means, where we're going to really put in a lot of stock to the Sellers to be the guy. With Jones gone now, to recut him, and we'll see what we can do next season. It's going to be interesting. We have $5 million exactly, and the draft recap, it's a 70 overall QB. 74 wide receiver, 72, 72. Not bad. 72 corner as well. It's not horrible, but yeah, clearly we're going to, have a lot of work to do here. So we're an 85 overall with an 87 offense, 83 defense. So if we take a look at this lineup going in, I think it could be important to change the playbook out of the gate, which I think I will do, because if we're going to get Sellers to succeed, we have to give them the best chance to do so. And unfortunately, as we all know, hopefully it's changed to Madden 27. I actually don't know if it is. Maybe it's already announced that it is, or maybe it's announced that it's not. But I really hope playbooks aren't such a damn important factor every freaking year. But we'll see. So I'm going to go ahead, change this to spread. So I think I'm going to change both playbooks. So Sellers coming in, I'm going to go ahead and run... I don't know. We're going to figure this out. I'm going to go with... For defensive playbook, I'm going to go ahead and run Seattle's playbook because, they always have a pretty good defense. And then offensively, I think I'm going to go ahead and run... Not Zach Taylor, but you know what? We'll go with Buffalo's. We'll go Buffalo and Seattle as our playbooks will run this year. And we'll see if that turns into anything good for us. We'll see. Hopefully that is the case. And hopefully this team, bounces back. There's still some talent here, but, it all is going to boil down to how good is Sellers out of the gate, which, who knows how that's going to be. But yeah, this team has been searching for a QB. So maybe we found it with Sellers. Time will tell. I'll see you guys at the end of year 1. Or year 2, not year 1. This is year 2 now. So a little bit of a better season compared to last year. We finished this season at 8-9, so pretty happy with that. I mean, I shouldn't be totally settled and happy with it. It's better, I guess. That's what we should be saying. So offensively, top 13 offense, better than last year. And then defensively, hopefully we're a little bit better, 20th in the NFL. So both sides a little better. 29-13 from Sellers. Yeah, 10 touchdowns, 1,200 yards from Jonathan Taylor. 1,200 yards from Alec Pierce, 900 from Tank Dell, and 700 from Chisholm, 600 from Tyler Warren. Defensively, Latu had 11.5 sacks, who did get superstar dev last year, so happy to see him continue to playing well. 3 picks from Ward, 2 from CJ Allen, 1 from Bryce, 1 from Carles, 1 from Bynum, and 1 from Wooler. But yeah, better last year compared, better season compared to last year, so I'll take it. So let's continue to build here. Sellers was pretty solid his rookie season, so it looks like we may have our guy going forward. And I actually feel good about the playbooks we're running. I think we could be even better next year. We'll have to see what kind of talent we can add. I know we have to re-sign Jonathan Taylor, obviously. You had the Seahawks and the Titans being up in the Super Bowl. And the Titans with Danielle Hunter win Super Bowl MVP. Wow, that's pretty interesting. So Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase. So Bengals absolutely dominated the offensive awards. And then DeMarcus Lawrence, Ahmad Hardy, and David Stone for your defensive awards. But, okay, let's go ahead and get into... to the resigning stage. Obviously, first and foremost, Leonard Williams, we see he's retiring. But for free agency, we know Jonathan Taylor is one of the guys, and we weren't able to come to an extension agreement with him last year, but with him having a 1,200-yard season, hopefully this year, there we go. Jonathan Taylor is back. Now for Latu, who obviously has developed into our superstar edge rusher. I prefer not to see him walk out the door, so we'll go ahead and give him a strong extension. He says no, and unfortunately, I do think I'm going to go ahead and franchise tag him. Man, that's going to cost a lot of our money, though. I don't know if I will then. Man, that sucks. Okay, so I'm going to try to resign him in free agency. We may miss out, but if I decided to franchise tag him, that would cut that would cut all of our cap space, and we get Javarius Ward back as well. Okay, so that's all great and dandy. And then our right guard was a 77. Grover Stewart, we gave a 1-year deal to. So we got to revisit Latu in free agency because I just can't afford to franchise tag him for that much money. So if we go ahead and take a look at our team now with Latu out the door, and obviously Sellers, I don't know if he's up star dev. Nope, but he is an 80 overall, so at least we'll take that. Singleton, Alec Pierce, Tank Dell, Warren, Farmer is a star dev at right guard, so I like that, so we didn't even need to keep it. So offensive line's looking pretty strong. I actually like our offense, other than maybe needing a wide receiver 1. I think Alec Pierce is fine, but I don't know if I view him as a wide receiver 1. Defensively, Allen, and then, we got Bryce as well, and Carter, who we drafted. All C. Defensive line needs some work for sure, Alexander, but yeah, Latu obviously priority number 1, and then if we can get any kind of D tackles in free agency, I don't know if we'll have enough after we give. So there is a couple. So you have Drake May. So it would be fun to just go get our quarterback right now, but of course we drafted our QB, so we're going to stick with them. Latu only has 1 offer, so maybe that gives us a chance to bring him back pretty easily. We'll see if we're his number 1 offer. We are. That's good. Okay, so we might be able to get a D tackle next to him, preferably if we could. Deron Payne, Stewart, Deontay Wyatt, Tart, and then you have Mike Hall down here at 25 years old. I'm going to try to get him as well. I think that'd be at least at least one guy to get. So go with that. So Mike Call, and then we'll have Latu. So let's even get both those guys to come in. We do. So that's good. And then I'm considering trading for, well, we will have a decent pick. So maybe I should wait. But I think if I had the chance, I would draft a D tackle in round 1. That's like elite, if there's one. And then is there like a wide receiver that we could sign that would be able to do something here? So Tyreek Hill. We could go get like Tyreek Hill and free agency right now, but would probably cost a lot of money. I mean, we could get there. Tyreek Hill, Tank Dell, Singleton, Alec Pierce. I mean, that could move me if we really wanted to give. You know what? Screw it. Why not? Let's go try to get some Tyreek Hill action in here. Could take the top off the defense. We don't want to restructure Jonathan Taylor. Could save money by cutting Alec Pierce, but I'm not going to do that. I want to keep him here if we can. So Rainman would free us up 8 million. So we'll do that. And then we'll see if there's anybody else. But this is all. Then Sauce Gardner. That should give us enough, I think, to get Tyreek Hill on the team. But that would give us just a wide receiver presence. Did Gibbs go to... Okay, Ashton Jeanty is just buried, I guess, now. Interesting. Okay, Tyreek Hill. Troy Franklin would be cool, too. But I kind of want the upside with Tyreek Hill being our wide receiver 1 if he chooses us. He does. So Tyreek Hill, welcome to the Colts. And now we can go to round 1 and try to take an elite D tackle prospect if one is to fall to us. So unfortunately, there really isn't any on the board. So I'm considering trading for Walter Nolan on draft night. So can I trade my 2nd and my 3rd in this draft for Walter Nolan? Would the Cardinals do something like that? They're close to accepting it. So my 2nd and maybe my 2nd in next year's draft as well. Walter Nolan is close. Maybe I would trade my 3rd in this draft as well and try to avoid trading my 1st here. And that does get us Walter Nolan. So we get our D tackle that we wanted. We didn't really have a good one on the board, I felt like. So instead, we could take a QB again, but I'm obviously not going to do that. Our, offensive line situation, we all know Quentin Nelson is older, but we could take an edge rusher as well, which I would not be opposed to. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with Isaiah Gibson here to go here with in the 1st round. Because building the trenches, those edge rusher spots are very important. So Isaiah Gibson's going to be the pick. And obviously, with us trading 2 of our, draft picks in this draft, we're not going to draft with the rest of the draft. We're going to let the AI take care of the rest. We'll look at the draft recap. Isaiah Gibson's our big addition, plus Walter Nolan on draft night. And we have to hope Lenore Sellers is going to have himself a good sophomore season. And we could be a playoff team next year, which has been the goal here. So we got 75 overall, edge rusher, 74 running back, 70, 68, 64. Not too bad. Pretty happy with that. And now we'll go look at the lineup going into year 3. But year 3, you're going to have an 88 overall with a 91 offense, 85 defense. So that's a pretty good sign. Of course, Tyreek Hill is probably boosting our overall, quite a bit. But again, really love that addition from him. Sellers, you got no excuses here. You got Warren, Tyreek Hill, Pierce, Tank Dell. So you got a 2 deep threats and Alec Pierce and then Tyreek Hill and Tank Dell to work those underneath routes. And then Gibson, of course, will be playing when he can on certain downs. And then Halsey, Cameron Bynum, Allen, and then we'll continue to play Bryce here. Then obviously Aaron Carter will start there. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave the playbooks the same because I felt pretty good about how things went last year. With our offense being a little bit stronger, I do think that there's a chance that we could be a playoff team this year. So I will see you guys at the end of year 3 with hopefully a playoff berth at the helm. And at the end of this season, we finished up at 12-5, but I do not see a playoff game for us. Does 12-5 really get us the bye, or did we miss the playoffs? So no, 12-5, which it would be wild to miss playoffs at 12-5, and I'm pretty sure I've done it before. We had the tiebreaker at over the Jets and the Bills. Yeah, the Raiders, Browns all in as well. But yeah, we won a division and we won the 1st seed, which surprised me a little bit. But Norris Sellers, offensively 3rd in the NFL, played extremely well, and defensively, top 18, I'll take it. So 36-10 from Sellers. He had 10 touchdowns, 1,300 yards from Jonathan Taylor, 1,200 yards from Tyreek Hill. So I do think he was a very welcomed addition. And then Alec Pierce, 1,000 yards and 900 from Tank Dell. How much did Sellers run for? 146 yards and 4 rushing touchdowns. Not bad. Defensively, yeah, 10 sacks from Latu. So glad we were able to get him back. And then Tuli also, or Tui, I think as I say it, 7 from Walter Nolan. Nice. And then interceptions, you had 3 from Bryce, 3 from Travarius Ward, 2 from Dax Hill, and 2 from Bynum. So our secondary got busy, which I love to see. But okay, get the rest of our wildcard weekend, which I did not anticipate. I thought, if we could just be a playoff team, that would give us enough. But I guess the expectations are even higher now because we are going to be in the divisional round. So we are going to be playing the Buffalo Bills, which obviously we stole their offensive playbook. So this should be tough. Don't know what the injuries are, but let's go take a look to see if there's any important ones for either side. So Farmer for us, which is our starting right guard, that sucks a little bit. And then for the Bills, Bernard's out for them. So I guess 2 injuries on both sides. But all right, let's go ahead and jump in and play the Bills at Lucas Oil. And hopefully we can come out here and get a victory in our first playoff game of the video. So here we are, Lucas Oil Stadium, Buffalo Bills coming to town. We stole their offensive playbook, and hopefully we can use it against them well. And it's going to be a 7-0 start for the Bills, but we will respond with our own touchdown. We also get an interception from Cameron Bynum, who's been phenomenal in Indianapolis, by the way. And we are going to have a 14-10 game for the Bills, but we keep scoring, which is good. So at least we're not slowing down. There's 5 seconds left in the second quarter, so nothing's going to happen there. The Bills do take the lead in the third, and we come back and take it again. But this has been a back-and-forth game, as we all know. Hopefully it's back and forth again here. There it is. 28-31, and 8 minutes and 54 seconds left in this game. And I feel this is a point where I want to come in and try to, you know, maybe put up a touchdown or just put this game away in any way we can. So 28-31. Let's start off with this simple run to our boy Jonathan Taylor, and did not get much there. 2nd and 6, but he has 57 yards in the day on 11 rushes. That's not bad. The Bills have allowed 117 yards today. So that's actually not a ton. I don't know if that's for rushing or just in general, but I would assume that's not offensive yards because, you know, we put up 31 points to this point. So I think that would be more than that. But all right, let's focus and lock in here. See if I can hit like Tower Warner. Do I just hit Jonathan Taylor underneath? We had plenty of time in the pocket as well. Damn, I thought I could get past 21 there. But okay, so that's going to be a first down at least. We'll take that. We'll go right back to run the football with Jonathan Taylor. But at this point, we're just trying to keep away from the Buffalo Bills and make sure this ball, you know, either ends in a score or, you know, we somehow boot out the entire clock, which would be wild. We could do it, but obviously would take a lot of great execution here. But, you know, a nice run to start that first down. I'm going to go right back to Taylor again since we got a 5-yard run. And a nice run. Not going to be quite a, you know, go to the house type of situation, but that was a really good chunk of a run. And now we're going to be inside the 40-yard line on their side of the ball. So that was a great run. And we're going to go right back to him, man. He's running really well. Actually, I guess Miller's going to come in the game now. And we'll see. And I forgot we have Tyreek Hill, so we could actually maybe try to hit him at some point for a deep touchdown if that speed is still holding up. So, you know, maybe we come to him here in a second. Let's see if we can get him, you know, to burn a guy on the left side. We're going to throw him a shot down the field, potentially. And Alec Pierce, not to mention another deep threat. If not, I'll dump this to Tower Warren. Any safety help? Alec Pierce has a shot, I think. Alec Pierce has the step, and it is a touchdown to Alec Pierce. So that is going to be a beautiful touchdown drive on Maxwell Hairston. Just seen my defense. Nope, they do not get the stop. And it is going to be a tied. Nope, actually, they missed a field goal at the end or didn't attempt one. 38-35. That was a big gamble I just took, not jumping in there. But my defense did their job. I do wonder what happened at the end there because it did feel like that was going to OT at the very least, but maybe they missed a field goal. 2nd and 4, they just didn't attempt a field goal, I guess. Interesting. Weird. Okay. You could have tied it, but I don't know why they didn't. So 4 touchdowns for each quarterback. You had 1 pick from Josh Allen. We saw Cameron Bynum get that early in the game. 112 yards from James Cook, and then Jonathan Taylor had 90 yards, and then Khalil Shakir had one hell of a game, and then Singleton had 2 touchdowns, 69 yards for us. And then you had 1 sack from Walter Nolan and Latu. And we saw Bynum with that pick, like I said. But okay, let's get to the AFC Championship game. Taking out the Bills is such a big win. So whoever's in front of us next, whether it's the Jets or whoever it may be, I feel pretty confident about going into the next one. So this time it's going to be the Las Vegas Raiders coming to town. So this one's going to be interesting as we saw they signed Jahmyr Gibbs. And obviously they have Gene T as well. So don't really know what that backfield looks like now, but it is going to be a 3-0 start for the Raiders, but we'll match it with a field goal of our own. We had decent field position there, did nothing with it. Field positions here for us again as Ward gets the interception, and 6-3. So not a whole lot here, but 13-3. I was about to say, we got to come away with some points on this drive, man. We're right in their territory, but it is going to be a 13-3. This feels like a game where we might win pretty comfortably here, which is nice. So Mendoza looks to be struggling in this AFC Championship game. Interception from Ward. Again, that's 2 picks in a playoff game. And yeah, that one was easy. 26-3 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Did not seem to have any chance in this one. And that one was pretty easy. And now we're going to Super Bowl after resting wildcard weekend. So that is awesome. We had no touchdown, so Sellers didn't need to do much, basically. He just needed to be efficient and be a game manager in this one. Mendoza threw 2 picks to Ward, as we saw. 32 yards from Jonathan Taylor. You had, how did we even score touchdowns? Did we even score touchdowns? Taylor had, okay, both our running backs had a touchdown. That makes sense. Okay, that's where it is. Okay, I guess I glossed over that. 60 yards from Bowers. Not a whole lot of offense, it felt like, in this one, but at the end of the day, we won, and Max Crosby had 3 sacks. It didn't matter. Luke Van Ness as well, 2.5. So our quarterback definitely took some hits, but at the end of the day, Ward, I think was the difference maker in this one. 2 interceptions to lead us to a victory and heading to the Super Bowl. So let's go see who we get to play in the Super Bowl, and hopefully we can beat whoever is in front of us and win this Lombardi here. So it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which I believe I just did, obviously a Buccaneers rebuild. And then my Jags video, I think we played the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl and that one off as well. So the Bucs just seem to be getting to the Super Bowl at ease, apparently, in the sim. Man, I cannot wait till Madden 27 to kind of just get like a fresh sim. I don't know how fresh it'll feel after a while, but we're up 10-3. But I don't know, man. I'm using a created roster, so I do feel like this isn't as accurate as could be, obviously, but it's a pretty good job. So it's 10-10 so far. Let's focus on the Super Bowl instead of Madden 27 for right now. And it's 10-10, and both teams cannot seem to get any points for the rest of this game. And okay, wow, nobody seems to score 2. Okay, a minute 28. I cannot believe both defenses are just holding up this good. So all we need to do is get in field goal range, and we have a chance to win this one. So we're going to start off with, I am tempted to just try to throw this to Tyreek Hill right now, but let's keep it simple. Let's throw a screen pass to Jonathan Taylor. Blocks are set up pretty, oh my gosh, oh my lord. We're not gone because I think 21's going to catch us, but what a freaking play. That's going to get us in field goal range. That was awesome. That set up so well. I'm glad we decided to keep running that. Almost audibled out of that, but we are in field goal range, which is awesome. So we're going to go and keep this on the ground, make those Bucs use those timeouts. Wow, great penetration by 26 there. It's going to be 2nd and 11. So that was a great stop by them. But at the end of the day, they only have one more timeout. So this game could be in our grasp. It does look like they're bringing, the run committing right now. But, oh, so close if I just escaped that one tackle. 3rd and 4. And I think I'm going to keep this on the ground. Even if we don't get the first down, they're going to be left with such little time. They'll have no timeout. So we'll just have to hope that Taylor can run us for a first down here. I think he can do it. And he can. Might even be able to run for a touchdown if I decide to do so. But nope. Let's get on the ground. Make those Bucs lose this game. And we'll kick this on a field goal. So that was awesome and could not have worked out any better. So let's bleed this clock a little bit. In fact, we'll call a timeout and then kneel this. And I'll probably transition to when we're about to kick a field goal because obviously I don't want to kick this right now. We got to let this clock bleed out a little bit. We have 2 timeouts, about to use one of them, and I'll use the next one, and we'll kick this to win the Super Bowl. So a timeout has been called with 2 seconds left in the game, and all that is left is for us to nail this field goal and win this Colts team a Super Bowl. So let's nail this in there, and that should be your ball game. And just like that, we'll beat the Bucs on a game-winning field goal after that amazing screenplay from Jonathan Taylor. So guys, we got the Colts Super Bowl. This is our 3rd to last rebuild on Madden 26. Only 2 left after this, and we are done with this game until Madden 27. So hope you guys did enjoy this one. I'll see y'all in the next rebuild, and that is where I end it. So thank y'all for watching. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace.